So 2022 trading wise has officially come to an end, guys. Today was not the best day overall, but the bulls did end up coming back in the last hour, which we're going to break down in this video. As the markets earlier in the day, my previous video when we discussed them, they were down pretty much over maybe not over 1%, but let's just say it was a lot worse than what it is now. And the Russell ended up closing down only a quarter of a percent. Nasdaq down 0.1. The S&P went down roughly a quarter as well, as the Dow went down about 0.2%. And the VIX earlier in the day, I think it was up at 1.3%, and it only went up 1% on the day, which the VIX is still very, very low here, guys, as we are wrapping up the year. So in this video, we're going to break down the markets very quickly. We're going to talk about how the markets did throughout the year very briefly, and we're just going to go over the watch list, run through some stocks that I'm looking at. So sit back, relax, take a sip of your water, and let's just dive right into the video, guys. And by the way, if you all find value, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, and if you want some free stocks, get up to 20 stocks from Moomoo and your 12 stocks from Webull, link down below. It is free money, and it also helps out the channel, guys. I appreciate you all as always. So this right here is Disney stock, which we can see had a pretty nice run, and we can go if we go back here to SPY, we'll wrap around on Disney in a little bit. You're going to see the extreme run that we saw in the markets, which, again, like you saw in Disney stock, a lot of individual stocks ended up rallying at the end of the day as well. We can see SPY at the worst point of the day today was right around $378. That was right before power hour. That was right around 2:45 p.m. on the East Coast. And this thing ended up running all the way to 382. Now it's actually over almost at 383 in the aftermarket. So it is up about 1.1%, or it went up 1.1% in pretty much the last hour of trading. And if I pull up Triple Q, I'm thinking this had to have gone up even more. It went from about 263 to roughly 266.70 here after the bell. Yeah, it's up 1.4% roughly in the past, in the last hour of trading. That's what it ended up doing. So very strong pushback for the bulls here to wrap up the day, as again, we did wrap up the year of trading today, guys, which it was one hell of a year. Let's just put it that way. It was one hell of a year this year, guys. And, just looking at the past year chart, we can see we started off this year of 2022, or, well, we ended off last year of 21 at 403.57 on Triple Q. And right now, to close the year, and let's try and get as close to this as possible, we went to 266.28. So let's see the exact percentage drop of that right here. And this is not going to be exact, of course, but right around 34% is what Triple Q went down this calendar year alone, pretty much, from pretty much exactly a year ago to today. And if we pull up SPY, let me see here. So that was 34%. SPY went down roughly from 300. Where was this? 479 roughly. Now it's at it closed at 382. So let's see. It went down roughly 20%. So right in a bear market is what SPY SPY got itself into here in this year. And at one point it was way worse. At one point SPY was down about 27%, which means it is up a little bit off the low. It's up about 7% off the low, whereas Triple Q is not really off the lows too much at all. They're pretty much still Triple Q still near the low. So yeah, let's see the Dow, which I've covered before on the channel. The Dow is really not down much at all from where it was. Where was it? Right at the beginning of this year, end of last year. It was right around 36,750. I mean, it's down 9.5%, 10%. Nothing crazy. So not that bad of a year for the Dow, which I believe that will change as we get into the new year here. And we'll talk more about that, and we'll see how it actually ends up playing out. And of course, we cannot forget the Russell, the good old Russell, the small cap index. This ended up going down roughly 23% on the year, which is 23%? Really? That's it? 23%. Really? That can't be right. No. Am I reading this wrong? Am I losing my mind, guys? Wait a second. Am I looking at the wrong thing? Maybe it was 23%. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought the Dow or the Russell at its worst was down 35%. Why is it saying only 34 or 24? Either way, whatever. Actually no, yeah, here it shows the Russell was down 34%. Yep, there we go. So yeah, now the Russell's only down from all-time highs. It's only down about 29%, and those all-time highs were hit in November of last year. So okay, yeah, a little confusion there on my part, but from the beginning of this year, okay, beginning of this year is the Russell's down about, what was it, 24%. It started off the year at about 2280. Now it's at 1750. It is down about 23%. So not the best year at all for the stock market, guys. And the truth is, we've seen worse. We've seen way worse, but this is, yeah, I mean, not saying like, oh, we've seen way worse, like this year wasn't bad. It was still a very bad year. And, the truth is, if we compare, and not to be a doomsdayer, but I've said this before, if we compare this recession, this crash, beginning of the crash, to other recessions like '08, the dot-com bubble, the stock market went down way more back then than it's gone down right now, which means, if things really do get ugly, like a lot of the doomsdayers are saying, and not even doomsdayers, but people that are looking at the data and they're like, oh, okay, what if this turns for the worse? If it gets worse, Dow Jones could go down 30%, 40%. We could see the NASDAQ go down another 20, 30. So these are things that I'm thinking about, and I'm not trying to, freak anybody out, but I'm just being realistic, just, educating myself on previous crashes, and I'm comparing what we're going through right now to previous crashes, which, I mean, what else can we do at the end of the day, guys? We can't look into the future, so, I mean, we have to look into the past and try and learn from history, which, yeah, we have to see how it goes. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And the crazy thing is, guys, the beautiful thing, let me say, it's kind of crazy, but kind of beautiful at the same time. This is where the money's made long term. I mean, it's crazy times, but there's beauty in the craziness. I mean, if we buy the dip on SPY, if we're, buying a lot of these individual stocks, which aren't guaranteed to go up, of course, but if we pick good stocks, now, during this crash, in 3, 5, 10 years from now, that is where, we're going to be looking back like, thank God I started buying that stock. Thank God I started buying that index. And sure, it could go down a lot worse from here. And guess what? If that happens in 23, I'm going to continue to dollar cost average and all my favorite individual stocks. I'm going to be buying the S&P 500. I'm going to be buying international ETFs as well. There's really just one that I buy, VXUS, and that's that. That's what's that's what it's going to be. And I'm going to again look back in a couple years, 5, 10 years, and be like, oh, thank God I bought. Good thing I was buying during that time period, right? So yeah, let's talk about some stocks very quickly, guys. Let's see. Let's look at Tesla, because Tesla ended up going up even more on the day. It went up to $123. Let me see here. It went up over 1.1% on the day, and it saw a nice run, which is a really good sign for the bulls here, which we'll talk about here right now. Let's take a look. We can see earlier in the day, we hit 124.50. That was in the morning. Then we ended up selling off from that point, which got us down to roughly 121. And do you guys remember my last video where we talked about Tesla? I mentioned the ascending triangle. Well, look at what ended up happening, guys. It didn't play out fully, but we are starting to see buying pressure getting us back to the resistance, which is 123.24 bucks, which I feel like we could break that. It's going to be testing that point next trading day here, which we can see 124.3-ish. That failed, yesterday, pretty much all day today. And that point needs to break. Bulls need to break that. And if the ascending triangle plays out and we pull up this 4-hour, we're probably going to see a push towards, actually maybe on the 20-day chart we'll see it. We'll get a push in my eyes probably towards the mid-130s. And then, we might start to get some selling pressure. But overall, bulls made a nice run. Now let's see if they could plow through 125 bucks here, 24 on Tesla. That's kind of what I'm looking for. We had a pretty good day in some other names here as well. Las Vegas Sands had a nice 2% green day. It looks like this one is bouncing off of the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour chart. We did close above the 50 SMA. Now let's see if we pop the 20-day up. Let's see if we could end up breaking this downwards channel that we're noticing right here. Don't you guys see that? You notice that? So if we could break out of, let's say, 49.50 on LVS, watch out for a big move from there, in my opinion, at least, guys. And Wynn Resorts is another one that's kind of similar in terms of we have a little downtrend on the 20-day chart, but if we peel back the layers a bit, 4-hour chart shows, okay, uptrend's intact, but we just have to break that little downwards channel from the past roughly month. So if that breaks, Wynn starts taking 85 out, I think we could start seeing more upside in in this one here. So let's see what else. Let's do a little update on some of the other ones we talked about earlier in the week. We talked about Ulta, which looks like now it went up another 1% on the day. It's right around 470. It did break out of the 50 SMA. That's really good here on the 4-hour chart. Watch now for a move towards, honestly, $500. High 400s, 500. That's where this could be going. Let's see what Estee Lauder did this week. Still, fighting right around 252. That's where it needs to break. If that does break here on EL is the ticker symbol EL, that could end up filling the gap towards 270, 75, maybe even higher towards, $280. We talked about Etsy earlier. This probably didn't make much of a move. Let's see here. It looks like, it did hold above 118. It did, let me see here. Yeah, it looks like it did rally towards 120, but nothing too crazy. I mean, it's still in a downtrend on the 20-day chart, clear as day. So let's see if Etsy could start breaking above, I'd say mid-120s. That's where I'd feel comfortable playing it if it's able to get out of $125. So I'll set my alert there. Mark is at or above $125 a share. And XLE, let's do a little update on this. This is an energy ETF that I personally own. And I think I think there's a breakout coming. I have my alert at $89 and also at $90 a share right by the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour chart. If that's able to break, we could start to see a big push, mid-90s, and I honestly feel like all-time highs could be coming. If we pull up the max chart on XLE, we're going to notice, oh, wait a second, we hit $90 back in '08. We already broke out of that. So what's the next high? 101.50. That was in 2014. I think that is where this could be going. If we break 90, 95, 101.50s next. All-time highs on XLE is right around the corner. And it makes sense because it's an ETF that tracks energy stocks, meaning it's comprised of a bunch of energy stocks, and a lot of these are near their all-time highs. I mean, look at ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil, all-time highs 117. It closed at 110 today. CVX, all-time high. It's already at all-time highs. I mean, look at that. We hit all-time highs during this bull run. The previous all-time high was 135 from 2014. So think about that. Chevron broke the all-time high from 2014 by $50 a share. That is unreal. So massive move for Chevron. Other ones like I'm forgetting these energy stocks now. DVN, Devon Energy. This one's not anywhere near all-time highs. What are the other ones? Hess. Let's see. Hess. Yeah, Hess, another one. All-time high back in the day was, from '08. That was 135. We just took that out. So you guys get the point. A lot of these are absolutely crushing it. So it makes sense. XLE is pretty much near all-time highs as well. And I do believe it's going to be heading towards that point. It doesn't look like any of these energy stocks want to slow down anytime soon. So let's see what else ended up moving up today before we wrap up the video. If you guys are still watching, let me know in the comments. Let me know that you stuck till the end. Hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe as well. I think 40% of you guys are not subscribed. If that's you, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you all as always. Let's see. Netflix ended up going up a little bit on the day, a little over 1.2%. Not bad, but yeah, it looks like it's fighting right around these moving averages, guys. We're right around 295. This got to break 300, so I'll set my alert there right around, let's say, $302, which is right by those highs from, about a week ago. So, yeah, honestly, guys, that is it for the video. We're going to wrap it up a little bit short today to end off, the last trading day video of the year, which is, it's crazy. It's been a crazy year, guys. And another year with your support. I really appreciate all you watching out there because how many years about I've been doing YouTube now for 4 or 5 years, and I've been doing other social media platforms for probably 2.5 years, and we're doing really well on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. So if you guys aren't following me, all across the board, make sure to go do that. And seriously, I appreciate all of you throughout the years for all the support. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. So yeah, cheers to another year, 2023. It's going to be a good one. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I appreciate you all as always. Peace out.